We are recording. We are live.
We live?
We're live-ish.
Cool.
It'll catch up.
We're gonna catch up. Great. Oh,
Yep.
There we are.
Welcome
Hey.
back to the 2H Media stream.
How we doing?
We're doing good.
I'm doing good.
It's a Friday.
Friday.
We've got
the long weekend.
later today. Yep, and the long weekend coming
Long
up.
weekend. We've got a great charity event that we're going to tonight for some cancer awareness.
Yep.
We're excited to go to that. But we've got some important topics to talk about today. This is there's a few of them. They are. I like it. We're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
This is one that I'm a little bit more
We're
hyped up
talking about marketing quite a bit in today's topic list,
Yes.
which is great because like often we skew technology focus, which is good because most of the work we do is technology consulting. But like as a company that is ostensibly primarily a marketing agency, it's good to like focus on that once in a while.
Yeah. So this is like super in it, which is awesome.
Yeah. That said, diving in with a technology topic off the hop, YouTube takes on TikTok Shop with expanded Shopify partnership. As TikTok Shop gains traction, YouTube is expanding its partnership with Shopify to onboard more brands for its YouTube Shopping affiliate program. The company announced on Tuesday. The expanded partnership means creators will get access to thousands of new brands to tag in their shopping videos, making a significant increase from the few hundred brands they currently have access to. As part of the expansion, all eligible Shopify Plus and Advanced merchants in the US can now sign up for the Shopping Affiliate Program. The YouTube Shopping Affiliate Program gives creators a way to earn money through their videos while helping their audience find new products. For brands, it's another way to reach customers and increase sales. The expanded partnership will allow YouTube to be better poised to take on TikTok, which is reportedly aiming to grow its TikTok Shop US business tenfold to $17.5 billion this year. Although TikTok is newer to the US e-commerce space when compared to YouTube, the company has been onboarding merchants at a relatively fast pace, as TikTok reported in April that it had 500,000 merchants in the US on TikTok Shop by the end of 2023. And this article came from TechCrunch. So right away, the first question I have is, does it make sense to compare YouTube to TikTok?
Ish.
Yeah.
Ish.
I mean, like, YouTube
ish.
has invited the comparison with moves like this and
Yeah.
the YouTube Shorts. I don't think the audiences
No.
are really comparable.
There's a giant. It's. I keep saying ish. So like, there's a whole bunch of similarities and there's a whole bunch of differences. Like, yes, it's like all video focused.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, like there are YouTube Shorts and there are TikToks, and yes, there's a giant base of children and young adult programming on YouTube, and yes, there's a giant base of child, young adult, and fun content on TikTok. So there's like a whole blend. YouTube does have a much older audience when it comes to like other things, like the TikTok. I think TikTok doesn't have the older demographics into there. Like I don't have TikTok. I know that like most of the 40-plus-year-olds I hang around with don't have TikTok, but they are heavily into YouTube.
Yep.
They find content on YouTube. They follow creators on YouTube. Obviously, a big difference be YouTube has a massive array of long-form content that TikTok doesn't have.
I think that's the biggest difference.
That's the biggest difference.
Is YouTube, the long-form YouTube the long-form content on YouTube's already really well established.
Yeah.
And YouTube Shorts have just really not exploded as a TikTok competitor.
No, it's not. They're definitely not competitors that way. It's like it's kind of the same product, but not really, because the creators on YouTube are different than the creators on TikTok.
Yeah.
And the monetization is different on YouTube and TikTok. So
I think most people who visit YouTube are visiting YouTube to watch long-form content. I have no idea what the experience is if you want to watch YouTube Shorts in the same way that people consume TikTok videos.
Yeah, I don't do that. Like, I consume a lot of long-form content on YouTube. There's all kinds of great things there. I'm normally never looking for something under 30 seconds. Like, when's the last time you were looking for something under 30 seconds?
Never.
Never.
Occasionally, I click on a YouTube short if it catches my eye, because I was on the YouTube home screen looking
Yeah.
for long form content.
Yeah. So like I'm not making searches. That's TikTok is mostly discovery, and like YouTube does a good job with discovery with like the populating like the next in line video queuing videos and providing you with a feed and all of that. But it's still not the same as like I'm not burning. I'm typically learning things on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't view my time on YouTube as where the heck did that hour go. I knew what I was signing up for when I started watching.
I mean, YouTube is usually like third monitor for me. Right,
yeah,
so
third
it's
monitor.
a lot of it's news, a lot of it's entertainment media, but it's like, yeah, I'm going to put this on over here while I'm in the code for a website,
Yes.
which is good. I mean, do I think there's a market for this? I've bought merch from YouTube creators.
Yep.
I could see if this system is easy for YouTube creators to opt into and take advantage of, I could see it taking off
Yep.
on the platform side.
Yep.
By the sounds of it,
Well, think about how they do right now. They do it like, oh yeah, link in bio or link in the description, and now they won't have to do that in the description. It'll be an in-stream.
it's different though, and that's what I was about to get to. From the merchant perspective, I suspect this is going to be much easier to manage than going out and finding affiliate marketers, because it sounds like this is just an integration where you opt into it and now your products are available in this.
in this thing where the
ecosystem.
creator will just go, oh yeah, I was wearing the blue duffel bag, or the shoe, or the piece of hardware, or the
Yeah.
whatever, and it's just going to bring the tag into the content.
Where it's going to be less appealing for creators, though, is if it's controlled by this platform, you're going to have way less flexibility to broker your own deals with the merchants selling the products, right? Because if the difference
Yes.
between this and like having an affiliate link in the description is that link in the description, a conversation had to happen for that link to get generated.
Yes.
If all of this just comes out of the integration, then the whole thing's going to become much more transactional, which I think is actually going to take a lot of power out of the hands of the content creators.
I would, if I was a smaller creator and I don't have the weight to go and say, hey, I'm going to go have a conversation with that brand because I'm a nobody, I'm just starting, it's going to give them a lot of power. But those medium-sized content creators and larger ones, obviously they're trying to monetize their user base. And that goes, they're going to try and broker sponsorship deals. They're going to try and broker sponsored segments and product promotion and all kinds of things that way.
Yep.
And then I don't know I don't know how this works in terms of maybe those deals will still take place, but the tracking is better. So now I don't have to use an affiliate link. Now they can just say, oh yeah, it came through this, the product sale that happened on Shopify originated from the sales channel. So like, okay, great. Now I can track the sales coming from that video a lot easier without having to rely on using a promo code or using a discount code.
Conceivably, but again, if it's got like a monetization model baked in already,
It'd be interesting to see.
yeah. I just think it's going to make it harder for you to use that to make the kind of money that YouTube creators can make off of.
Brand deals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That said, like you were saying, if you're a smaller creator, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to just jump into this system.
Or a smaller company that's producing like indie products, and you're just like, hey, here I am. I got to pay for a Shopify advanced subscription. Though that's not crazy. That's $2.99 a month, and here it is. And now you can go, put my hoodie on the person in the music video, or put my merch on.
Assuming it takes off.
Assuming it takes off.
It's one of those things where like the value is there if a bunch of really good creators start using it.
Yep.
If I hope you get to see which videos
we'll see
your
how
products are being featured on.
We'll see how the algorithm takes over on. Will there be a benefit to the algorithm if you're featuring product through? Because like
Yeah.
YouTube's doing this not for the good of their heart. They're doing this in their.
Oh yeah, they're going to make a commission on it.
They're
just
going to
like
make
all their
something
other
on it,
ads.
right? So.
I think this service offering lives or dies on its analytics.
Yep.
Because as the creator, you want to be capturing metrics on how successfully your videos are promoting these products so that you can then take those metrics and turn around and broker your own deals.
Yep.
And as the store, it's going to be really important to you where your products are being featured.
Yeah.
Because, there's a big reason why we do a lot more search ads than we do on the Google Display Network. There's a reason why stores are communicating with specific influencers and brokering brand deals. It's really important to companies where their products are displayed, and if they're just putting them out into a vacuum and not getting any data back then I could see this offering being really unappealing. Unless you have like if your product is just targeted at Gen Z and it's
Right.
like a plastic widget that you're manufacturing in China and you've produced tens of thousands of them and you just need to get them in front of as many eyes as possible, then it makes all the sense in the world.
I
You
can
don't
see
care
it for
what
like the
videos it's
larger
on.
brands too. Like if you're Lego, and there's like Lego content creators, it's like now the Lego person can like tag that saying, "Hey, go buy.
If-
you can go buy it,"
That's true.
because they don't care. Lego doesn't care if the person is going to buy
Lego
it.
absolutely cares where their content is displayed.
Well, I'm saying if there are indie content creators that are building Lego, for example, and they're saying, "Hey, I got the new whatever Harry Potter set or the Death Star, or whatever." They have a stream, they have a channel, they're building a thing, with doing their little minis, and they're now saying, "Hey, you can go and buy that same thing here."
I think you're being optimistic about the best case scenario. Yes, that's good for Lego.
Yep.
But if they're just turning on this functionality on their online store, they don't actually know that the video that the product links are appearing on.
So I'm making the assumption that the analytics at least will do that. So there's got to be something there.
And I'm curious.
that's okay.
This is a technology that's been around for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what the integration actually looks like, and it's being expanded right now to all the advanced and plus stores, which is great. So like we'll be able to get to take a look at it at some point. We haven't
Yep.
been able to yet because now the stores we work with have been in the smaller group that's using it. But I'm really curious if it's similar to. Like the obvious comparison to me is Google Display Network, where you have basically no control over where those ads appear.
Yeah, it's limited. Like you can blacklist stuff, and you can set a little bit, but it's still not great. It's more obscure because your ads can be positioned like great. If you want to go and pay for ads using Google Search Partners, that ad is going to appear all over the place depending on your targeting. Where this is, it's like the targeting is way more refined. I'm going to say this person.
That's the point I'm making. We don't know that the targeting is more refined.
We don't. Yeah, you're right. We don't. We're not.
That's
Yeah.
why I'm saying my assumption, until I get to look at this technology
Yeah.
closer, is that it's going to be more similar to Display Network than to going out and brokering your own deals or like shop the look. Because like, if you look at the way they're framing it.
How do I get, as the content creator, how do I get permission to tag Lego's kit in my video?
So the expanded partnership means creators will get access to thousands of new brands to tag in their shopping videos.
So, there you go.
That doesn't tell you anything about who the creator is. That doesn't tell you anything about the rest of their video library. That doesn't tell you anything about what other products
Brand
are featured
safety,
in
a whole
that
bunch
video.
of stuff, yeah.
And so, great.
Right.
It sounds like the way this is implemented, it just makes your products taggable in YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And now you're hoping that those are being tagged by high-profile creators saying nice things about your product, and those links are coming back to your store. But since you can't control what the videos are, that's where I'm just comparing it to.
I completely, you can't get, so I agree. Yeah, you can't, there's limits on the other stuff, but again, you don't get to control.
Yeah.
You get to say, okay, this is 18 plus. This isn't family friendly. This is I'm selling a product that's car parts. I'm not going to put that in the kids section. I'm going to get a little bit of.
So like a perfect example, if you're Lego, and the person is a construction toys enthusiast doing a video showing off Lego toys and Bricklock toys and 6 different brands of knockoff Lego, that's not going to fall into a separate category
No.
than your products fall into.
Nope, that's going to be all in one.
But that is definitely not a video that you want associated with your brand as Lego.
Yeah.
And so that's where I see it as a dodgy marketing channel for any companies that are conscientious of their brand image and their brand safety. I go back to the example of, if you produce a mug that is blowing up with all the young influencers and you just need to get that in front of as many people as possible, and you don't have a carefully cultivated brand image, but you need to get as much awareness as possible as quickly as possible, I think that's probably a stronger audience for this feature than the really big brands that are like really careful in cultivating their image. In terms of like a strategy for using a feature like this, I think it's still going to be really tough, because just being taggable in the app doesn't necessarily mean that content creators are going to.
You still need to work, because they're not. Yeah, no one's doing it for the benefit of themselves.
Well,
you need to go.
Everyone's doing it for the benefit of themselves.
Oh, sorry, the benefit of you.
Yeah,
the benefit of you, right?
And great, they want to do it because they want to get paid. But if there's, like the article suggests, thousands of new taggable products entering the ecosystem, well, you have to make those influencers aware of your product in order for them to tag it in the first place. So I think there's potential here, but I think it's going to be a very complex tool for companies to start taking advantage of.
Yeah. And the strategy, the last question there is the strategy there is you need to cultivate a bunch of content creators that are producing content in circles that your customers operate in.
Yeah.
Period. And that even before this technology, you should be looking for those people. Those are like in the marketing world, those are key partnerships. It's like you are a revolving door of clients because you're an expert on X, rock climbing, fishing, pick a thing. And you operate in that circle. I want access to their network.
Yeah.
And if it's beneficial for both parties, then do it. So like this is just making that partnership a little bit easier, but you still need to make the partnership. I can't just count on, whatever, Lego builder XYZ to go and say, hey, I'm going to start tagging this stuff.
Yeah.
No, why would I do that?
I think it does depend on the industry a little too, because like you bring up the example of rock climbing, and I immediately go, okay, if I'm a rock climbing, like if I'm an established rock climbing equipment brand, I'm probably, and I'm completely speculating here, I'm probably less concerned about brand safety than Lego is.
Yeah.
Just due to the nature of the audience I'm selling to. It's not kids, it's not for families. Nope. It's a hobby for athletic action people. There's probably some safety concerns in terms of like, I don't want to be tagged in a video of someone using my
equipment properly.
Yeah. Although if they use the equipment improperly and it saves their life, then maybe
take the win.
Right? Like,
take the win. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, but that goes back down to like the due diligence and making sure that partnership's actually meaningful, and it does, like again, they're an extension of your brand. If they're advocating on your behalf, it's the exact same thing as word of mouth marketing, except it's not one to one, it's one to many. So if there's an influencer creating content or a content creator online saying like, here's why I like this and here's how to use it and here's all the thing, it's like, well, they're putting a part of their reputation on your brand, saying trust me because I'm a source of knowledge and this is why I trust X and Y. The rock climbing gear, the whatever. It's like, okay, great. Here's why I choose X over Y. And that I could use that for everything. I could use the golf clubs. I could use rock climbing, fishing, clothing, jewelry. You pick a thing, and that allows a person that is known in that space to do that. But it's still, the brand has to. There's no free lunch here. So the brand still has to do work to facilitate that. But now there are better tools hopefully available than here's my discount code or use discount code 2020 at checkout or something like that. It's the product's featured right there. It's clickable, and then assuming the analytics are good, should push right into the sale on Shopify with a trackable element saying, "Hey, that would be perfect."
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see.
It's one of those things. Like we say this about almost every technology that we touch on in this stream. If you see the technology, and you immediately see an awesome use case for your business and a ton of things make sense to you, then there might be something there worth exploring.
Jump, yeah.
And if you take a look at the technology and you're trying to fit it into your business because it seems cool, but you don't know if it's for you, it's probably not the right tool for your business. Yeah. It's usually that simple.
What's the expression? If it's not hell yes, it's hell no?
Yeah.
This is a fun one.
The next one,
topics.
I'm really excited for this topic.
I'm more excited for Aaron's segue into our next topic. Let's see if he can segue into this.
If I can segue into this?
Let's see if I can segue into this one.
Well,
speaking of influencers.
That's right. No, this one's wild. So like we're talking about new ways to market businesses. This is a very unusual approach to marketing a movie. And I'm going to let you read us into it.
That was, okay. We good?
Yep.
Yeah, we're good. Cool. Yeah. Megalopolis. Megalopolis' trailers fake critic quotes were AI generated. Lionsgate drops marketing consultant responsible for snafu. Lionsgate has parted ways with Eddie Egan, the marketing consultant who came up with the Megalopolis trailer that included fake quotes from famous film critics. The studio pulled the trailer on Wednesday after it was pointed out that the quotes trashing Francis Ford Coppola's previous work did not actually appear in the critics' reviews and were in fact made up. Sources tell Variety it was not Lionsgate or Egan's intention to fabricate quotes, but it was an error in properly vetting and fact-checking the phrases provided by the consultant. The intention of the trailer was to demonstrate that Coppola's revered work, much like Megalopolis, has been met with criticism. It appears that AI was used to generate the false quotes from the critics, and this is from Variety. This is the tea. We're spilling the tea here.
Had you heard this story?
No.
Okay. I love this because this went from a marketing consultant who must have thought they were a genius to that same marketing consultant leaning on AI and everything blowing up spectacularly. So what happened was Francis Ford Coppola is releasing a new movie. It's called Megalopolis. And it premiered at Cannes.
Okay.
And it hasn't been well received. It was a flop. And so this marketing exec, looking at this horrible situation for this movie that's coming out and needs to make a bunch of money, goes, well, this is Francis Ford Coppola we're talking about. He's one of the greatest directors of all time. His movies are historically excellent, and this is not the first time one of his movies has been poorly received. And then, lo and behold, the movie turns out to be great. The critics didn't know what they were talking about. So he comes up with this scheme to build this, he comes up with this scheme to build this trailer for this movie, including quotes trash talking all of these other movies that are famously excellent. So like talking about how bad The Godfather is.
Yes.
People who watched the trailer were making jokes about the Family Guy. I don't like The Godfather because it insists upon itself. And part of the problem was that that's how these fake quotes came off.
So good.
They were clearly fake critical reviews of these excellent movies. And like the premise, okay, we're going to lean in and say, yeah, the critics were wrong about that one. So they're going to be wrong about this one too. It's going to be awesome. You can't trust the critics. Look at all these mistakes they've made in the past. I get what they were going for. I still maybe wouldn't have gone that route.
It's a scheme.
Right?
It's a scheme.
Like even if you take the AI out of it,
it's a
you
scheme.
Say, oh, we're gonna like use this.
We're double down on the critics are wrong. We're gonna make them look even sillier. Like, okay, you got 5% chance.
You've got a movie coming out by Francis Ford Coppola. How many film goers look at the reviews from Cannes? Like, I get that it's a big deal in the entertainment world.
But like still, most moviegoers are like, oh, I saw a trailer, I heard it from a friend. I didn't go research whatever. Like there are a subset of people that do that, and that's fine. Most don't. Most are like, oh, I'm going to go to Rotten Tomatoes or I'm going to go to the Cannes review board. No.
I'm just going to see the trailer, and I'm going to go to the movie.
And I'm maybe talk to my social network. Did you see it? Is it good? Okay. Yeah. Should I say? Okay, great.
It's by a director I like in a genre I like. I'm going to go see the movie. That's it.
Done.
And so you can just market it the way you would any other movie.
Yeah.
But a marketing exec was trying to be clever. And this is
I love this.
I think it's super fun.
I think it's super funny as well. We've talked on the stream before about the power of AI and like the accountability with AI. And yeah, AI, I'm sure that trailer was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure the trailer was great. But if the trailer is a bunch of lies because your AI is spitting out fake quotes and you are not fact-checking the information coming out of AI, you just destroyed your entire reputation. It's like that marketing exec is going, how did this, in the terms of process, how did you generate content? How did you write this? How did you come up with this idea? And then not fact check and make sure anything or all of it was actually accurate.
Yeah. And
that's insane.
How does no one on the client's side
double check those things are actually true? I would. Well, that doesn't happen here. There's a failure of process, a severe overtrust in your partners.
Overtrust in the technology.
Overtrust in the technology. I don't.
We're
speculate. I don't know if this person admitted to using AI to help generate the idea, and I don't know what the client or Lionsgate versus what that looked like. But the Lionsgate might not even have known that AI was involved in creating the thing. Like that might not even have been disclosed to them. So like, there still needs to be someone that is double checking the work that's actually, if it's going out under your brand, Lionsgate has the obligation to say this is going out with our name attached to it. I don't care who worked on it.
I'm going to look to make sure the information is accurate. Look at this on the most granular level. We are printing lint cards as a promotional item for an event we're going to. And when we print those lint cards, we design the file in-house for ourselves, and we proof it in-house. We get someone to look at the design and say, yep, there's no problems with that. And then we send the file to a manufacturer, and that manufacturer prepares the file for print. And then before they print the file, they send it back to us to look at one more time and say, yep, it still looks good. And we were responsible for the content in the first place. Yep. And we would do the same thing if we were building a website for someone.
And that's for a process that is way less money and way less impactful than putting a trailer out with that had a massive budget behind it.
Oh yeah, but like this trailer is going to be seen by millions of people.
It's almost what the Streisand effect with this too, because it's like I will now actually go watch the trailer because I know how bad and how wrong it is. It's like one of those things they're going to try and, we parted ways with them, or we don't want to actually have this associated with us, which is the right move. But by doing that, you're naturally creating the curiosity of going, oh, now I have to see the trailer. I've never wanted to see a trailer in my life. I got to see this one.
To be fair, they want people to want to see the trailer. Because even knowing that the reviews are fake, that's still gonna, like, this is still good for them.
So we could be playing 4D chess with this, and this could all be part of the scheme.
Well, they fired the marketing person, so it seems unlikely that was intentional.
The 4D chess is, I'm actually going to get fired for this, but that was actually part of the scheme.
That would be hilarious.
It's going to generate a whole whack ton of interest, and they actually come. Yeah.
The downside, though, is like the whole scheme of saying, oh, we'll use the negative reviews to show that these negative reviews aren't so bad. Well, now everyone's talking about the negative reviews.
Yes.
And if they had just marketed it as a movie by Francis Ford Coppola, they're toasted.
They're toasted. They're toasted.
Right? It's like,
you get that reference, like you win. It's
like the Mad Men thing.
Mad Men.
When everyone was trying to figure out how to market cigarettes, when all the health issues were coming out, their suggestion was, no, we'll be the company that doesn't acknowledge it. We're going to talk about the quality of the product, and we're going to leave all this controversy aside.
We're toasted.
And we're going to stand out by focusing on our strengths.
Which is never the wrong thing to do. Focus on your strengths. Double down on your strengths. You're never going to regret going, oh no, I wish I didn't do the thing I'm really good at better or more. No, do that. How can AI be used safely?
We talk about this all the time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, double, triple, quadruple, check, don't trust, validate.
Well, I mean, even in the most basic level, stop using AI to generate searchable content. If it's not information already in your head that you're just trying to put nicely on a page, you shouldn't be using the AI to go and look for it.
Yeah, if you're not a subject matter expert, the AI certainly isn't.
Yeah. And I don't mind using AI. Sometimes I'll take an article that I've written and I want an excerpt for that article. And I'll feed the entire article into my prompt and I'll say,
condense this down into 200 characters.
Yep. And I can't count on it to get the character count right.
Sure.
But I can mostly count on it to use information from the prompt I've provided because I gave it the material and then it's searching through.
Did you double check it afterwards?
Of course.
Probably.
But double checking aside, you should always double check all the content that goes out. But in terms of what we should be asking AI for in the first place, we shouldn't be asking it to generate new content that we aren't already fully familiar with and guiding. It's a pretty good tool some of the time for helping someone who is not a strong writer put out content that is clearly written. It is not a powerful tool for searching for information and getting it consistently right.
And the word is confidently incorrect.
Yep.
It will come back and it will look beautiful. It'll look great. There'll be bullet points and headings, and there'll be like semicolons all over the place, and it'll look, holy smokes, this is awesome, and none of it will be true.
And this is the problem we're seeing with AI over and over and over again. The mistake people keep running into is using AI as a search engine
Yeah.
when it's not. It's a calculator for writing.
Despite what the AI companies will tell you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll tell it to you here. Whip it open yourself and take a look at it, and it's just a hammer in your tool bag, and you're not going to use the hammer incorrectly. And they're trying to say, great, it can be used for so many things. It can be used for so many things. Not everything.
If you're a subject matter expert, try opening up an AI tool and asking it to come up with information about your field.
And you'll have a laugh. It'll be great. You will pour a whiskey. It'll be a great laugh. It'll be a great laugh. It is hilarious. We've done this before. That's just going. This looks at the surface level. It's great. You read it, and it's the greatest comedy.
Oh yeah.
For you, and you're like, oh yeah, this would easily trick everyone. It's good entertainment that way.
Just a heads up, we are picking that up on the mic.
Oh, I'm tapping. Yeah. This one's a fun one.
So,
and maybe I'll watch the trailer.
That's a good idea.
Later on.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so it'd be fun for us to generate some fake, it'd be fun for us to generate some AI generated like marketing ideas to go through and go like, is any of this right? If we go and ask an AI a bunch of marketing questions, that might be a fun topic.
That might be actually a really fun topic. We could do that live, actually. That would be...
How many of these did it get right?
Yeah. We should do a prediction first. We should run a little bracket. Is it 50% right? What's our plus minus on the AI?
The over-under?
The over-under on the AI suggestions. We will do that.
So, we've talked about this Megalopolis trailer with all the fake reviews and all the controversy created around that. This isn't the only way companies are using fake reviews, though. In this case, it was unintentional, but companies using fake reviews to puff up their products is also a very real problem, which the Federal Trade Commission is attempting to address. So the Federal Trade Commission announces final rule banning fake reviews and testimonials. The Federal Trade Commission today announced a final rule that will combat fake reviews and testimonials by prohibiting their sale or purchase and allow the agency to seek civil penalties against knowing violators. Fake reviews not only waste people's time and money, but also pollute the marketplace and divert businesses away from honest competitors, said FTC Chair Lena M. Khan. By strengthening the FTC's toolkit to fight deceptive advertising, the final rule will protect Americans from getting cheated, put businesses that unlawfully game the system on notice, and promote markets that are fair, honest, and competitive. The final rule announced today follows an advance notice of proposed rulemaking and a notice of proposed rulemaking announced in November 2022 and June 2023, respectively. The FTC also held an informal hearing on the proposed rule in February 2024. In response to public comments, the Commission made numerous clarifications and adjustments to its previous proposal. The Federal Trade Commission works to promote competition and protect and educate consumers. So the final rule prohibits misuse of fake social media indicators, review suppression, company-controlled review websites, insider reviews and consumer testimonials, buying positive or negative reviews, and fake or false consumer reviews, consumer testimonials, and celebrity testimonials. And this article comes straight from the FTC.
This is a great one. I love this.
Why are companies resorting to buying fake reviews?
Because it was cheaper, faster, and easier to gain a competitive edge in the marketplace. It was a door left open, and reviews play a huge part of the buying decision-making process during the buying journey. And if you have way more positive reviews than the next person, it just makes your brand seem more credible. And if I could fast track that, especially if I'm like a startup, I can see why brands were doing that. Because it's like,
imagine that you're trying to build consumer trust.
Yeah.
By directly lying.
Yep.
To your shoppers.
Absolutely. I that doesn't surprise me in the slightest. It's mind-blowing. This has been a great decision from the FTC. I'm surprised by it. It's not getting nearly enough press coverage. This is fantastic. This article, the ruling came down August 14th, and then even in my world of following these things, I didn't see it until about a week later. So yeah, great news. So yeah, why do companies do it? Because there's money to be made.
Sure.
That's it. That's it. It was faster. It was cheaper. It was easier. And then there was no wonder you'd be surprised when the product that you did order online or purchase didn't live up to the.
There's
standard.
crazy tactics too. Like you'll see Amazon listings that used to be for another product, and they've like bought the listing and changed what the product is,
Yep.
but all the reviews stick around.
Yep.
So you'll be buying a toaster and you'll see like reviews that are clearly for a shower curtain. It's crazy.
But you've got 2,000 5-star reviews.
Yeah,
and that's
so it makes the product look excellent.
I get ads right now in my social feeds like, if you're running an Amazon account older than 2015 and you're no longer using it, we'll buy it for $20,000 just because of the age of the account to game the algorithm. And again, that doesn't help to promote competition and protect and educate consumers. That's a loophole in the system, and not even a loophole. Like that shouldn't be allowed. That's not like a get around. So
it's great the government's cracking down.
Yep.
Do companies need fake reviews to be competitive?
No, hell no. Absolutely not. You need nothing fake. Do not, like, why would, yeah. So it's a good question. Like, oh, well, how do I compete against the people that are cheating? It's like, don't sink yourself to the lowest common denominator. If your competitors are cheating, like, do better. Don't cheat.
Yeah.
That's not a good idea. What's our motto?
Be right.
Yeah.
So, if you're going to do it the right way, how do companies generate reviews legitimately?
So one, you need to have a place to capture reviews. So either like Google My Business, Yelp, TripAdvisor, whatever industry you work in, you need a place that actually houses the review. And typically that's a third party, so you're not like hosting a review that's hosted on your website is more considered a testimonial because there's nothing proving that that review is real. It's just like, great, I had a text box on my website and Susie Q from wherever said how wonderful we are. No, I want that to be tied to something. So like Google My Business, Google Business Profile, Apple, Yelp, TripAdvisor. There's a bunch. There's a ton of review sites depending on the industry you're in. Cool. And then to generate reviews, I need to ask people. I need to reinforce, like, hey, I'm asking for positive feedback. I'm asking for any feedback. There's tons of ways. You can put a QR code on your receipts. You can include a postcard in your product packaging. You can have an RFID chip at your counter with a tap to leave a review link. You can have your sales staff or your front of house team, after a positive experience, again, not enforce, but empower people to say, hey, this would really impact a small business like ours. Can you leave a review? Can you share that information online? We'd love to hear that. I need to hammer that over and over and over and over and over again. So how do I generate anything in business? It's work.
Yeah.
I need to create the value. I need to go and ask for that. And this does not just happen. Sure, there are brands and there are industries that this is way more easier to get a review in. So if you're a restaurant, you're typically not having to do too much. People love taking pictures of their food. Great. If you're in an industry that doesn't have those advantages.
Restaurants still work hard for their reviews.
Yeah.
Like, it's not uncommon for me to see a discount on your meal if you show them your review.
Now that is a little bit of falls into this, like buying positive or fake reviews. So there's a one where I'd have to look into this earlier going, great, can I buy positive reviews? That has to do with, are they buying fake reviews or am I buying
So I've got the site
incentivizing?
open. The final rule prohibits businesses from providing compensation or other incentives conditioned on the writing of consumer reviews expressing a particular sentiment.
Okay. So if you it's
So so the way that they have to structure it, if you show them your one-star review,
you still get the thing.
discount.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
There are plenty of tools out there in the market currently where it will ask you for a review, and if it's a 4 or 5 star, it will then direct you to leave that review in Google or whatever, so it'll filter out the bad ones. And if it's a 1, 2, or 3 star, it will direct you to customer service. And there's lots of that out there where it's a review filter.
Yeah. Now, obviously, nothing we say is legal advice.
It's not legal advice.
But if I'm reading this correctly, that will be expressly illegal.
Yes.
Under this ruling. Under review suppression. The final rule prohibits businesses from using unfounded or groundless legal threats, physical threats, intimidation, or certain false public accusations to prevent or remove a negative consumer review. The final rule also bars a business from misrepresenting that the reviews on a review portion of its website represent all or most of the reviews submitted when reviews have been suppressed based upon their ratings or negative sentiment.
We know brands that use stuff like this,
Yep.
and we've always been against it. It's a cheap, easy way to filter out. We have tactics for dealing with bad reviews. We don't have very many ourselves, but getting a bad review allows your customer service to actually shine through. If everything is good, I mean, we've all done this. You've all looked at the 5-star, and you're looking for like, well, what the hell's wrong with this brand? Like, it can't be 400 5-stars. There's got to be something wrong. I want those wrong ones to show through because people are looking for them, and that it's got to pass the smell test. So great, it was a 3-star, and we didn't meet expectations on something. I now need to show people why we're actually good.
Yeah.
If everything is 5-star, singing the praises, I'm not alleviating those concerns. I'm not doing as good a job as I can. Now, of course, no brand is perfect, us included. Like we're human beings, but at the same time, we welcome that feedback. We want that feedback. That feedback helps shape the way we do things, especially if it's well founded. Now, this doesn't factor in all of the things around reviews around like if there was racism or if there was something that was breaking terms of service. This is on the side of, is the review real or not?
Yeah.
So there's still onus on the person leaving the review to meet terms of service of the platform.
Yep. But to that point, I think some of this is going to be difficult to enforce and gauge. So like one of the examples is company-controlled review route websites. So the final rule prohibits a business from misrepresenting that a website or entity it controls, provides independent reviews or opinions about a category of products or services that include its own products or services. It's very common for people to install review plugins on their Shopify stores. Most of those review plugins let you filter, manually approve comments, hide the comments, like hide the reviews that you don't agree with. And again, we never condone this. We try to talk people into handling things appropriately, but it's astonishing how many businesses we see suppressing their negative reviews because they control the website.
The platform, they control the ecosystem.
And they only want the positive press. And
that House of Cards is crashing.
it's tough though because they need that tool in order to deal with reviews that are contain slurs, are not at all about the product. Like there's all kinds of legitimate reasons to remove a review.
They're going to have to go after the app. They're going to have to go after the app, and they're going to say, well, just because it wasn't, you can't filter them out by their star rating or their ranking. You'll have to say like, oh no, this one.
It's a fully manual process though most of the time.
Yeah.
You're making a comment and you're saying, oh, hide this one. I think they're going to have to come after the merchants.
They're going to have to,
because it'll be the merchant who's making the decision on. I am selectively hiding this comment, and that merchant's going to have to show, well, yeah, I hid the comment because of all of these legitimate reasons, and not because it was a 3-star or a 2-star or a 1-star.
And now all a public has to do is say, I left a bad comment on that. I'm so disgruntled. And this is where you don't want to make a person that's already mad even madder going. Yeah. They've taken their time. It's a seething review. They're keyboard warring it up. It's terrible, but let's just assume it's accurate. And now it doesn't appear on your website. And now they're one click away from reporting that to the FCC, saying they're doing this. And then now, and again, this is US based, but it's just one thing. Or it's just like, aha! Now I'm really gonna stick it to you. Like I had a terrible time with your brand. I left a review, tried to do the thing, and then now I'm really gonna get you. Oh man, I would not want that email or that letter from the FCC saying whatever it's going to say, but now you're going to be subject to that. And again, in the article, you can go and find in the article the penalties and the things that you do. But it's like, again, what would have been better for your business to do? I don't want to be on the FCC's radar. I don't want to be anywhere near that.
Yeah.
Period. Like, how much time is that going to take? You're probably going to have to call someone and help you navigate that.
Just be right.
Let
the negative reviews stay. Take them offline by giving them an out, offering a solution.
Yeah.
Give them a way to contact you. Use customer service to solve your problems the right way instead of using shady tactics. to make it look like you did nothing wrong in the first place.
We're going to come back to customer service because that's a sweet segue into the next one, but we're not there yet. How impactful are reviews actually online? They're like, I view them as super impactful.
I have a really tough time with reviews these days. I often search for reviews when I am vetting technology for clients or looking for new infrastructure for us. So like when we're buying video equipment, cameras, things like that, I'm looking for reviews all the time. And I usually look for them on Reddit because I have a higher degree of confidence that those are
legitimate,
real people sharing their opinions. And you, with the back and forth you get in the comments, sometimes you can fish out more of what the consensus is. Even then, there's so much fake activity on Reddit that I find it hard to be fully confident in those reviews. I look for reviews all the time, but I find it very difficult to have any confidence in the reviews I'm finding, especially professionally written like listicles, like, oh, top 5 camera bodies 2024.
Yeah.
I can be pretty confident going in there's going to be nothing of value in that list.
It's like that list was designed to maximize SEO and not actually what I wanted. Yeah.
Like that's to sell products through affiliate links. Yeah. That is not there to inform interested shoppers on what's actually going to be the best product. It's tough, man. How often do you search for reviews?
Sometimes. I don't normally go out of my way to look for reviews, but when I'm interested in something, so like I just bought some earphones. I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to get a good gauge on these, and I'm definitely not turning to the company's website to go and search the reviews that way. I'm turning to a place like Reddit. I'm turning to a place like where I bought them from specifically. And I'm not normally necessarily even looking for like a product review. I'm looking for like, what is their customer service like?
Yeah.
What is their how many people had trouble returning this?
I think it's something that's going to catch up with you, because if you have bad customer service or a bad product, you can hide reviews as many times as you want. That people are eventually going to learn your reputation for not being very good, because there are enough platforms out there that you can't control that the word is going to spread and your mistakes will come back to haunt you. Companies of all sizes are constantly trying to manage how they are perceived by the market.
I smell a segue.
And these reviews are a big part of that. Another big way companies try to manage how they're perceived is through their brand. Do you want to read us into the next topic?
Yes, I do. And that's a sweet... I have a hard time not smiling at Aaron's segues now. They're becoming a thing on this stream. It's great. Marketing exec wants to shift Verizon's transactional image into one more tied to people's lives. And yes, that's the Verizon we're thinking of. Verizon Communications has long enjoyed its position as a leading provider of mobile services in the US, but a new trend of price-conscientious customers holding on to their old phones has hurt the bottom line for telecom companies seeking to capitalize off the sale of new mobile phone lines. Enter Verizon Chief Marketing Officer Leslie Berland, who joined the telecom giant in January. She was Twitter's first chief marketing officer nearly a decade ago and spent about a year at Peloton after leaving the social media platform in 2022. She started at Verizon in January and announced the company's first rebrand in 9 years, including a bold update to the iconic checkmark logo. The rebrand has been paired with a fresh promotion of Verizon's My Plan platform, which allows customers to pick and pay for select services. Verizon also announced partnerships with streaming services such as Netflix and Disney to offer promotional bundles. Berland spoke to the Associated Press about the strategy behind the rebrand and why it's necessary to keep the company growing. This transcript has been edited down for length and clarity because it's rather long, but Verizon is an extremely well-known brand in the country. I think it's at about 99% awareness. And what research will show you is that we're seen as respected, trusted, reliable brand and company, and that it's a dream state for any company, big or small. But what we also found is because so much of what Verizon does is invisible, you don't get to see it and don't feel it. The service just works. And so we saw in the research, there's a sort of distance between the brand and the consumer. So yes, we're a telecom company, but we're also a life company. But people don't think of us in their day-to-day life. So the challenge for us is to make our invisible visible and bring forward the things that we do in a meaningful and authentic way and show the role we play in people's lives. The other thing that we looked at is from a marketing perspective and advertising perspective is the telecom space, where over time it's become a sea of sameness. A lot of our language is the same, the formats are very similar, a lot of the creative is similar. So it is really our opportunity now to be very bold and really break through in a way that is meaningful to the consumer. And this is from ABC News. So I've got huge opinions about this, and we were kind of talking about this off camera a little bit because we were excited to talk about it on camera, so we chomping at the bit. Verizon. Let's talk about the product life cycle of a company right quick. We've got 4 major categories of a company's life cycle. You've got Genesis, and Aaron's going to probably be looking at this.
Yeah, I'll bring this up in a moment.
You've got Genesis, which is like startup. No one knows about you. You're doing very innovative things. You're solving new problems. Genesis, custom built. So you're expensive, but you're available. It's a little bit more tested. Great. Like there's a little bit more commercialization on it. Then you turn into an actual product. We're like, great, off the shelf. I can pick this up. I can buy it. It's cool. And then you've got a commodity, a utility, and that's like tap water. Everyone's got it. You still have to buy it. It's electricity. It's I would consider most businesses that are in telecom to be commodity utility based businesses. You're not doing anything. People don't need to be taught new things. You don't make anything custom. The product is well defined. People know what you do. Great. You are on the scale of product. Great. I'm glad you brought this up.
Yeah. So as Matt was walking you through, the stages start on the left of this chart and move towards the right.
Yes.
As the products become more mature. It's also worth noting, typically, there is more room for a product to be highly visible and stand out on the left when it's novel and exciting. When something becomes a commodity, brand is much less important.
I buy my natural gas, not exciting. I need it. I buy my electricity, not exciting. I need it. My water, I need it. A whole bunch of things. You do it every day. You do it all day, every day. You interact with those brands. They're normally very big brands. They're huge brands. They're like S&P 500, Forbes top one. They're huge brands. That you have to be a massive brand to get on the right. They're huge. They're ducking billions of dollars because it's a fundamental operation of society.
Telecom companies are an interesting one too, because people tend to become attached to their telecom companies in a way that they don't become attached to their natural gas provider.
Yeah. If they've even got they're definitely not as attached because the reasons
they become attached
are
right. It's because
completely.
It's because these companies have excellent promotional deals, and you're locked into a payment and renewal cycle on your smartphone.
Yeah.
It's because they were quicker or slower to jump on government regulations around unlimited data caps.
They are able to go to a certain cell phone provider and say it's exclusively the iPhone 2085 is exclusively at Bell.
Yep.
Great. You can get it 2 weeks early. Great. Yeah, you're going to attract some customers.
There are some technical things that can make people get really picky about their provider, like coverage area.
Coverage is important.
So like the quality of the product and the quality of the customer service, because there are telecom providers that are notorious for horrible customer service and have built a reputation by doing the wrong things, and so are driving customers away that way. What we're driving at is I don't see a lot of consumers adopting a telecom provider because of a rebrand.
No.
Because that company has decided that they're a life company and not just a telecom company. Not even with a bold new logo. And I want to bring that up as well.
The bold new logo
talk several
certainly
times
is bold.
About how bold the logo is. And when you compare the new logo to the old logo, it's basically the same font, if not exactly the same font. They've removed the check mark, changed the color, and added a slight gradient
on the V. Doesn't that make you feel
it's
lifestyle?
Bold, it's exciting. Well, I mean, like even the slight gradient on the logo. What? So it's the same as Netflix now? Like we see this all the time in big corporate logos. This is not new.
Yeah. Now, we were not expecting anything crazy because this is a billion-dollar company, and they weren't
Yeah.
going to go and rebrand. Like, no, they weren't going to do that. They were not. You don't expect Red to deviate from the Red. It's not going to happen. So, like, a rebrand is like, take that as with a grain of salt. It's not like a small business rebranding or even medium cap business rebranding. They were never going to do something that was like, oh my God, we're blowing the stack off this thing. No, it's going to be an 8%
I mean, we do
shift.
see major shifts in large companies now and then. right?
Some.
Like the shift from HBO Max just becoming Max,
Just becoming Max. That was bigger.
right? Well, especially
that
with
was
like
bigger, yeah.
how well known was the HBO,
HBO,
brand
huge.
prior to that. So like it happens once in a while, but no,
Big
you're right.
ones.
Most
Ernest
big
and Young
companies-
just turning into EY,
yeah.
shortening it, like just completely modernizing the word. There's been a few. Both of those companies I think are smaller than, but still.
And those are both
they're big.
changes that I would describe as bold.
Yep, those would be bold. Yep.
Changing,
But they're not changing their marketing to say, oh, we're not no longer the maker. You don't view us as the same maker of great shows that you've always had. We're also
a life company.
we're also a life company. It's
Yeah.
like, well, that's a stretch.
This was a pretty buzzwordy
Yeah, this is a stretch.
address to this topic. What even is the difference between a telecom company and a life company?
Yeah, I have no clue what they like. I don't. Their definition. I don't want my telecom company to be my life company. I want my telecom company to bring me information through the internet or on my cell phone, and then I really don't want them anywhere else in my life. I don't want them. I don't want big data on my. Like, I mean, I get it, but I don't want them anymore.
Companies
Yeah.
need to learn to stay in their lane.
Yeah.
And they need to promote themselves for what they're good at and stop trying to be other things. This drove me nuts. We are seeing a concert this weekend. And we're very excited for the concert, but I bought my tickets through Ticketmaster. And I don't know how new this is, but this is the first time I've seen it. Ticketmaster did not send me my tickets by email.
No, you have to use their platform to access the tickets.
You have to use the app now.
Yes.
I couldn't believe it.
It
I
sucks.
was so angry.
sucks.
And when you open the app and you look at the page of the app that displays your ticket, the barcode for your ticket has a little flashing light graphic that scrolls back and forth over the barcode, so that if you screenshot it,
It doesn't.
it won't register. So that you have to have the app open in order to attend your concert or your event or whatever you've bought the tickets for. That is so wildly anti-consumer.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. Even from Ticketmaster, who is a notoriously horrible company. It was so frustrating.
Yeah.
The last thing I want is more useless apps installed on my
Control
phone.
more of the market.
I'm
It's
not
like
going to be
monopolistic.
browsing the Ticketmaster app going, oh, what new events are coming out for me? I better enable push notifications so that
My Ticketmaster app
keep
can send me
informed."
text
No.
messages. Yeah, don't. So there is marketing that has come through this, and Aaron and I were looking at this off camera as well, like about like how they were using their logo in various ways in terms of like, oh, there's a whole side of this, and how they were promoting their new bundles with Netflix and Disney.
Yeah.
And we had a good laugh about this. Does the Netflix deal just sound like cable TV?
Yeah, so I'll highlight the specific part of what we're talking about. So the rebrand's been paired with fresh promotion of Verizon's My Plan platform, which allows customers to pick and pay for selected services. Verizon also announced a partnership with streaming services such as Netflix and Disney to offer promotional bundles. Well, they're talking about a bold new rebrand to promote the future of the company. Telecom providers bundling entertainment packages is not new.
No, that's
This-
been around for the invention of telecom providers almost.
Yeah, this is the cable.
This cable model.
Cable,
Model.
like, this is-
Oh, you want this channel, you want that package, you want the sports thing, yada yada yada, and it's like the whole point of the whole movie of cutting the cord was getting rid of that so I could just have Netflix when it was $9.99.
Yeah.
And now I didn't have to have a cable provider, a telecom provider in the house. I had my internet, and I don't have to opt into cable. I can use other platforms. And now they're trying to say, oh yeah, you do need cable again. You want it's convenience.
Well,
it's you can
and-
go to the My Plan platform.
I'm okay with them. I'm okay with them offering the service. I'm okay
Yeah.
with that. What bothers me is trying to frame it as a bold new offering from a bold new version of the company, when it's not. It's the same stuff you've always done.
It's the same stuff.
And I think the running theme we're seeing and a lot of the content we're discussing today is marketing people being disingenuine in how they're presenting the things they're advertising. And you don't need to do it.
So let's walk this back. Let's go back to Aaron's chart with the Wardley mapping. Cool. If they had said, we're doing a brand new rebrand, we're going to do the same thing. We're a life company. What does life company mean? Life company means we are going to have the best customer service on the planet. We will be the telecom provider that you love, not the one that you hate. We are going to do a better job at customer service than anyone else. And then because everyone's dealt with it, everyone's called their thing and why is this not working, or I've got an overage on my bill and I don't have to press one, I've got a live agent in a minute. Great. That is super visible, so we would be on the right side of the chart at the very top corner. Great. Wow. I just got off the phone with Verizon. They solved my issue. Wow, they're giving me a $10 credit on next month. That was fantastic. I didn't wait online. And you know what's going to happen? Those conversations are going to start blossoming, and you're going to tell, oh yeah, I had to call my whatever, and it was great. That's the marketing working. And then your friend's going to say, oh, I'm with X and Y, and every time I have to deal with them, it's terrible. Huh. Focus on the things that your company should be good at. No company should be going, we're not going to put effort into, like if our core business model is relying on a B2C transaction, focusing on the C is really important.
Well, it's really straightforward. They are a company that's over here in the commodity space.
Yep.
And they are trying to present themselves as a company that is over here.
Oh, yes.
In the
new life company
Genesis
space.
Yeah.
Yes. And if I don't even know how they would do that. Like there's no, like again, you're not inventing anything new. There was nothing new that came from this. A partnership with Netflix isn't new. Offering the same coverage and service area isn't new. There's no new. You've changed. The red in your logo is barely a new red.
Yeah. Like
so yeah. It's hard to claim. Now this is we've read articles. Oh, it's wildly successful. That time will tell. Are people actually going to be wise up to it? Who knows? But again, from a marketing perspective and how this is relevant to small businesses and medium-sized businesses, you actually need to focus on what your customer cares about. And I don't think they're focusing on this article. They're caring about what the company cares about. They're caring about, oh, we want to be seen a different way. Mm-hmm. Well, what available ways can we be seen? And we want to be seen as the best at what?
It can be tough as a marketing person because, like, credit to the marketing agency, they focused on things the client cares about.
Yeah, they did their job.
Clients.
Not the clients. No, the goals were set incorrectly.
What really matters is what the clients care about.
Yeah.
But if you're a marketing agency trying to sell more branding to more big companies and you can keep their executive team really happy,
yep.
Well, that's going to turn into more work.
Yeah. I've got opinions on where the exec came from and all that, but like I don't think this is going to be worth the paper and ink that it was used to print. Like this is not.
Let alone the copious amounts of money I'm sure were paid to the big branding agency
to
handle the rebrand.
Yeah, and this was a major brand. You can find them easily online.
And they've done nice work. They did a bunch of work for Amazon.
Coca-Cola. Like they're a big one. They're one of the big ones. And it's just again, they were hired to do a job. They got their brief. They executed well. I think the marketing executive at Verizon set the goals. They're the one controlling the goalposts. They're saying, hey, I'm hiring you a third-party contractor. I need you to help me do X. Well, that X just needs a better definition.
Let's be very fair to that marketing exec. This is not a marketing campaign. This is a rebrand.
It's a rebrand.
Which means there were probably a lot of other cooks in the kitchen from Verizon that had strong opinions on how this needed to be handled.
Yep.
And who knows how much that got in the way of actually making any kind of bold changes.
I'm hoping... Well, I see the word CMO there, and there's not too many people above the CMO, and I don't know how this company's run and their board structure and everything like that. But rule one when marketing is you try to remove every other cook from the kitchen, period. Or that meal is going to be a disaster.
It does depend on who you talk to. There are a lot of agencies out there that like strongly believe in doing a bunch of focus groups and like heavily testing all the information to get as many opinions as possible. We don't have any one of them.
No.
We like to rely on experts making expert recommendations. And if the client wants to start making lateral moves or negative moves, we'll warn them. But that's ultimately their choice.
That's their choice.
But yeah, there are totally marketing agencies out there that are big on like, oh, well, how is that design validated? Who did you focus that with?
This is a question that I'd just like to ask the audience is, what would they actually need to do for you to consider them a life company?
That's a great question.
What would a company, like what would they have to, what would your natural gas provider have to do to convince you that they're super empowered? You know, there's a really easy way. They just shut off your gas. Oh, I am important suddenly? Oh yeah, when you don't have, but the goal is to show how you're empowering the world. We are, if I wanted to bring visibility, I would say, I want to show the scale. We connect 100 million Americans every day. Some of the best phone calls you'll ever have will be on our network. You know, the grandchildren talking to the grandparents for the first time over I'm going to show all of that, how we actually are in your life. I still won't view them as a life company.
Yeah.
It's like, great, this is tap water. I'm going to pick up the phone. It's going to work. The news is going to be on my, and when these companies,
for a commodity company to be viewed as a life company, they would have to do a lot of things that as a consumer, I have no interest in them doing.
No.
Like Ticketmaster deciding that they need to have an app on my phone for me to be able to view tickets, which I used to be able to print.
Yeah.
That's
wild.
That's activity.
So don't do that.
I don't want the company doing to insert themselves into more areas of my life. Big companies, stop doing this.
Yeah.
How does marketing for very large companies compare to marketing for small businesses?
I think it's, for large companies, it's way more forgiving. Because
interesting. I think that's a hot take.
I think it's a little bit more forgiving because if you do something as a small company, it can almost put you out of business. If you really screw something up, it'll be very detrimental to your bottom line, and you might not have the funds to suffer the consequences of your actions. The way it works in a bigger business, you can make a lot of mistakes and limp on for a long time and then die. So I think there's less leniency. It's hard to say. Bigger companies can frame it as there's no such thing as bad press because they just say, oh yeah, it was a terrible rebrand, and great, we got a zillion more eyeballs, and we'll factor it into the next thing, and I can roll with it. If a small business does that, they never get to capitalize on the mistake.
Yeah,
it's harder to capitalize on the mistake. So it's when we're talking about the dollar figures and the percentages, they can lose way more than the small business was ever valued in 100 lifetimes, but they can suffer the consequences of a larger mistake and still carry on, where a small business, I don't think, gets the benefit of doing that. So it can seem like a much larger deal to a smaller business because I think the stakes are higher, because there is death can happen.
I also think if the companies are being smart, they should be focusing on separate things.
They should, yep.
Like most small businesses aren't going to benefit a heck of a lot from this kind of rebrand.
No.
Be like reframed as a different type of company. Refocus on your base. Advertise the things you're really good at.
Is your name clear? Do people understand it? Did you shift in the first 10 years of what you were doing?
Even beyond the name, because like that's getting to like nitty gritty rebrand stuff. Is your value proposition clear?
Yeah.
Does your website tell people what your company actually does?
Yeah.
Do you have landing pages and ads pointing to them? Like really basic nuts and bolts things.
Yeah. Are your key products, is your ICP like really worked out? Do people know, like, again, I see your name on the side of the truck going down the road and you're in the small town. Do I immediately recognize what you do? You might not be available in every city across whatever, Ontario, Canada, whatever, but like, are you well known and established in the areas that you can have a presence? And it's like, focus on those things. Where, again, Verizon, they've got the money. They'll put their logo at center ice for the next hockey game, and they're not going to attribute any single sale they have. No one is buying a Ford truck because the Ford logo is on the hockey rink, but it's brand recognition over and over and over that these bigger businesses get to play on. Smaller companies can't do. They cannot dedicate the dollars to non-revenue generating activities. They're not measuring No small company, and this is up here. I think we have 99% awareness across markets. Most small businesses aren't even measuring that period. It's not a KPI that they should even worry about. What is my awareness across my entire?
No idea.
No, they shouldn't worry about it. It's like, great, I'm going to measure my awareness within my like key partner network.
Sure.
How many people in my local, network know about me and everything? How many referrals am I getting? But like, even on the medium scale, you're probably not even international yet.
Yeah.
So,
I
like,
agree.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's the hot take on the branding. Go check it out. It's a fun logo. A little tweak to the logo. Overall,
And
I don't think it's going to achieve what.
If I can share some final thoughts on this, I don't want to give the impression that we think we'd have done a better job on the rebrand.
No. It's not about the work. It's not about the work. I think it's about the idea that this was even possible in the first place.
Well,
It's
we have told clients before,
Yep.
you don't need a rebrand. Your logo's fine. We don't think you're going to get any value out of this change. What are you doing? We'd rather put your dollars somewhere more effective.
somewhere else. You could have taken the same dollars and put it into your customer service and gone,
Yeah.
Again, bigger companies have budget for things like this. Yeah, we've already got sales dollars over there. This is the budget for
Yeah.
brand. Again, most small and medium-sized companies do not have separate budgeting for that. So absolutely, if they said no, we've budgeted for this. We have to refresh every 9 years, whatever it is, yada yada yada. Okay, great.
Yep. We'd have helped them do the
We'd have
rebrand.
helped them do it,
And
but we would have all been on the same page before we started.
yep.
Yeah. So.
Which
Cool.
maybe they were. Again, we don't
Maybe
know
they
anything
were.
about that internal process.
Well, I can't wait for Verizon to just be a life brand to me because I just can't. I'm something it's so excited about. I can't wait to feel like they're more in my life.